We're going to get started with our next group of panels and fireside chats. So we're going to start with Tiddo Veldhuis from KLM. Please have a seat. And we're now going to discuss the state of offer and order at KLM.
Air France-KLM.
Air France-KLM.
Come on.
So a big challenge at a big airline group. What is the state? Where do things stand? I see you've got a black eye here. Did like you lose a fight or win a fight over offer and order at the office or something?
Budget, offer, order discussions. It can get tough, but it's okay. I survive. No, where do we stand? I mean, there's a lot going on, and especially on the offer side, I'm really more focused on the offer. There's a lot of movement, a lot of anxiety, many things happening in the direct online channel, on the indirect, at product level, but also in development of new bundles, data. There's so much going on. I don't know where to start.
Yeah, one thing where we can start is the complexity of making this happen.
Yeah.
You've shared with me the challenge of just like seat bundles.
Yeah.
Something that seems so very simple is actually not. So let's talk about this.
No, that's a good example. I think the seat bundle is, let's say, our first next step in retail, where of course branded fares they help in the GDSs, but the bundle is the first step where we have a fare and auxiliary combined in a new offer, which we are able to personalize. It took us a while to develop it, and I think with the help of FareLogics and Axilia, we now have the seat bundle alive and running for, I think, a bit more than 1.5 years, and it's bringing great results. And that's mainly in the direct online channel. But there, of course, you need to learn and make steps. You first develop it for PNR as one, and then there's multi, and then there's connecting traffic. So there's many steps to take to get this going. But now it's there. Yeah, it's addictive. It's bringing the results we have, at least in the direct online channel. In the indirect, yes, it's ready in NDC. We build it, but there, of course, you need the full ecosystem to get it going. And then it's not only building it ourselves, but you need aggregators, connecting, and then you need someone to adjust the display to actually show the seat bundle.
And by someone you mean?
Anyone. That can be an OTA, that can be an agent, that can be anyone who controls the display. And that's, I think, the big difference, of course, versus the direct online, where you control the back end, you control the front end, and you walk to a developer and you can actually ask him to do something, and it's done.
Right.
And that's, of course, in the ecosystem, much more complex to get this going.
We heard this morning from some airlines that their NPS scores for their digital direct channels are substantially higher in terms of booking customer satisfaction than with the indirect. Is that true at Air France-KLM as well?
I don't have the NPS per channel by heart, but in general, depends a bit who you ask, but I think if you ask our Flying Blue community, they like the direct online because they know where to find what, and they know what they want, and they quickly can go and get it going. So I'm not sure if there's really an NPS in the indirect because there's so many channels. But if something is difficult to book, I'm sure your NPS is not the best.
Okay. All right. So you've got seat bundles now.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of different products that you sell. Where do things stand? How quickly can we start to expect to see more bundles being offered or brought to market? What's the bottleneck?
Yeah, I think if you look at the seat bundle, I think it depends who in the chain is very willing to do stuff. That's of course your internal chain, and I think with the help of a good sales organization and with the right aggregators, you can make steps. So we have, for example, Aron and eSky in Eastern Europe. They're really willing. They want to try and learn and set to get things going. So then you suddenly can accelerate and you can get results and get it going. I think on the other side, Amadeus X, it took a while, but I think we are live with the seat bundle as well. That of course will help to have a bigger reach and to have other people also starting to sell the products we want to be sold. So that's ongoing. Something else we have live is the SAF bundle. I think SAF is of course a very hot topic on the sustainability. What we did is we developed SAF as a modular component. So it's really, we have it as an auxiliary. You can buy it online, but we build it as such that we can simply combine it with any fare, and we can make it tailor-made in the percentage of SAF we want to have, depending on the customer or client or point of sale, what have you. So that's the second bundle we have live. I think there as well, it depends per channel how we move forward, what we do, but I think that is going. Other things we have in mind is, for example, a family bundle. How many people book with more than one, and you want to have with your family only 2 bikes, you want to sit together, 2 bags, you want to sit together, and maybe you want to go to the lounge. So I think a family bundle would be a logical next step where we try to play with separate auxiliaries.
Okay. So let's talk about the lessons learned. What are the would you say are the top 3 lessons that Air France-KLM has learned as you have started to bring offers to the marketplace?
Well, I think endurance, you need, it takes time. And I think you need skilled people, the right people to get this going. So it is complex, so you need people internally and also externally who understand what really needs to be done to get this going. And yeah, if a key person is leaving either in IT or in your own organization, that has an impact. I think that is something you need to safeguard. But you need to keep going. And I always say it's a combination of 2 things. On one hand, it's short-term steps and development, and you learn also on pricing, on other stuff. And on the other hand, it's the long-term vision where we want to go. And I think those 2, you need to always connect with each other, making a small step. What did we learn? And then is the long-term vision still applicable, yes or no, or should we slightly shift depending on how we see it? And that's where I think we try to make steps and to continue to move forward.
Okay. So let's talk about the issue of endurance, because you said it takes time, and this is something we've heard. We've been talking about NDC for a decade or longer.
Yep.
Why is it taking so much time?
Yeah, I think it, like I said before, I think it's partly because you start something very new, so it's a long way to learn and to become mature. And then next to that, of course, it's you're changing an whole industry. So it's not just yourself. Again, the comparison with direct online, where you have everything in your own hands. There are so many players out there from who you need something to get something going and to reach the end customer.
Right.
And all those parties need to be aligned, and they of course have different goals. So I think we are working on, for example, the SAF bundle for corporate, for a specific corporate, but then you need like 3 different intermediates and an SBT or to get it going and to really sell it. And that's hard work, and that takes time, and every party has his or her own interest for logical reasons. So it's not something you change overnight.
Right. So you're touching on organizational, and
Yeah.
I think this is really important to discuss more. As part of the lessons learned, that maybe you need to rethink organizational relationships, organizational structure at Air France-KLM. Have you done any, restructuring to bring teams closer together who maybe were not beforehand?
Well, I think it's a good one. I'm now heading the department Offer Management and Ancillaries, which is a new department created 3 years ago, which is in between revenue management, digital, and distribution. So deliberately not in one of the 3, let's say, known departments, but in the middle. And in my management team, I have distribution, revenue management, and digital represented to make sure that we have the transversal view at all times. Does it work? No, still, of course, we have struggles and things happen, but I think it's a way that we tried as Air France-KLM to respond to the challenges, which are so transversal by definition. But since it is on the forefront of innovation, you want to get it going, and you want to give it also the attention you want it to give.
Right. So why did you all decide to create this new department as opposed to say, well, we're going to put it in this department and then just have the others work with it? What was the rationale for creating a new department? Because I think it's very interesting that it's like, as you said, it didn't exist 3 years ago, and that's a big statement. Everyone in the room needs to realize we may have to be creating new departments, new relationships to succeed in this new world.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons is the transversality is very important. The moment it's in one department, by nature, you talk to the people in your department and you tend to focus more on the topics which are relevant for that specific department. And I think by setting it apart, you are forced to have the overall view, which is and distribution and digital and revenue management and sales and even customer experience. So I think it's really a broad scope, and you need to take into account all those elements. They are all important to make it a success. Does it work? Well, I think it's more to my colleagues to ask, but I think we do make progress. I see the value of it, and I think also from the innovation part, you also set clear as an organization, hey, we find this important. We find it so important, we reorganize ourselves around this topic. And I think that signal, is also very, very important.
You said you're pleased with the sales results that you're getting.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any differences between the Air France customer and the KLM customer?
No, not so much. I think it's more related to the product. So, for example, on KLM we have economy comfort, which is in economy class, some seats with extra leg room. On Air France we don't have that yet, but I think, and then you see there's an appetite for those seats, and you sail better. So I think those are things which really show result. Other elements, I think, which are key components to drive success, is, for example, a seat map. So it's really display-like. I think if you currently go online and try to book a seat bundle, you can see a standard plus, but you can't see yet where exactly you will sit, and you can't really see what the seat will look like. So I think on the content side, but also, let's say, which exact seat number will I get, you will only know a bit later in the process. So there are things, if you make steps on those elements, you see the sales going up immediately.
Okay. Is there anything that along the way happened where it's like, okay, this was a mistake, people don't repeat the same mistake we made?
Whew, that's well, yeah. I don't know. We haven't made any mistake yet. I don't know.
Come on.
But I think we are making progress, and I wish it would go faster.
Right.
But that's more my personal frustration. But there are more things to do in a company, and it's not so easy. But I wish, we say, if we go full force, sufficient IT budget, get things going, and then it can go faster.
Is your department being looked at as like this organic laboratory for how to rethink bringing teams together to work on new projects?
Yeah, I don't know how others see our department. Some will find me a pain in the ass. Others will be very inspired. I think it depends who you ask. But we try to innovate. We try to do a bit things and challenge things which are sometimes maybe not perceived as the most logical next steps, and cause frictions because of different reasons. So we try to push the boundaries and make everybody think and rethink, okay, what are we doing, why are we doing it, and get it going. So,
okay. Well, thank you. The one boundary we can't push is time. We're unfortunately out of time already for our session, but you'll be back up on the stage in a few minutes with the panel. So thank you, Tiddo.
Thank you.